As we move into a little older group here in the mini show, I think we got one to go ahead and start with pretty handily for me here today. I think one that just logics her way into that top hole because I just think when we set her in motion, she just gets out and goes with as much accuracy and authority as anything out here. And I think when we analyze her from a width and dimension standpoint, she's as good as anything out here as well. I think those red markings through that center of her neck really kind of make her look even better fronted than what she is, but I sure think she's attractive enough and really ties in good about that shoulder and forerib. Really complete one that I like quite well. The young man coming in next, Heifer, probably has just a little bit more muscle when you get right behind her. I think that's one that just has a world of good in her from that standpoint. Real rugged in her bone work, and I like that too. One that's just a little plainer up about her head and neck than our class winner, and probably doesn't have that depth of rib. But a young man's doing a good job with a real big bone, massive, really high quality one for us here. I think the next two get a little more close for me because I think the heifer that we go ahead and conclude the class with definitely has more rib and shape and arch to her, and we've talked that all day. But I think the young man, we go ahead and pop him into that third hole. She's a little more of a youthful type of a female, but one that just gets out and grabs the ring with a little more accuracy compared to that one right behind her. The one right behind her I think is going to make a nice cow. I think she's going to be easy fleshing, but just doesn't have quite the overall attractiveness and soundness of our top three out here today. Thank you.
Well, congratulations in Class 5. First place will go to Willow Fields with KLD Coco 356 LET. Second place, and congratulations to Jace Cunningham with JLC My Lady Clementine. Third place, exhibited by Taylor Mini Herefords. And fourth place will go to Red Barn Herefords. Well, now let's see Class 6. This will be your final class here in this division.
As you move into another class with only two out here, I think it would been a little more of a logical deal if we could have had a few more. We could placed our priorities a little differently because they did. I think they really broke a little strange for me here, I guess, all in all. I think we just kind of stuck with the way we've been trying to do things and just have that little better looking. The cattle that just have a little more balance and eye appeal. And I just love this one's back leg. I love the way she stands down from hock to ground, gets out and goes, and probably a little better chested and fronted than the one we've got in second. We've kind of had that a priority all day, and we're going to stay that way even in through this class. Because I'll grant you this heifer in second's got more muscle, and we've sure had that be a priority as well. But I just think when we compare these two, she just doesn't have quite the look, and particularly the flex off her back leg is the one we went ahead and start with here today. Thank you.
Well, congratulations in Class 6. First place exhibited by MEK Barato with BF Gemma. Second place in that class will go to Wesleyan Elliott with BR Darlame 135L. We're now going to welcome in those first and second select champion reserve here in Junior Heifer Calf Division. Well, over here in Ring 1, we are going to get started with your Highland show. We'll be starting with the junior division first. First class in the ring will be Class 3. These are late junior heifer calves born March through April of 2023. Excited to welcome your judge, Mr. Ryan Rash.
Well, again, really a privilege to sort through the Highland cattle here today. We start out with the single entry. The young man's got one up here that, again, in terms of her look and presence, she's very impressive through her head, neck, and shoulders. She's a deep-bodied type of female that's very level and correct in terms of her lines and has a lot of muscularity when you get in behind her. When we get her in motion, I'd like to see her a little more mobile and flexible, particularly out of her rear hock and her spine. But that is a good-looking one that's very stout and a nice way to start off the show. Give them a good round of applause.
Well, congratulations. Your champion intermediate heifer calf will go to back number 2563. That'll be FSH Hermione 66148, exhibited by Easton Bowes. We'll now look to see our next class here in your Highland Junior Show. This will be Class 6, fall heifer calves, born November to December of 2022.
This gentleman's heifer is extremely stout. Again, you get in behind her, she's got as much muscle as you could want in a female, and yet she's one that's very round and pronounced. In terms of her rib and for that much power that she displays, she's still good in terms of her shoulder. Again, when we get her in motion, like the last heifer that won a class, I'd just like to see her more comfortable, particularly out the way that she goes in terms of knee to ground, but still a very nice one. Give him a good round of applause.
Two classes out here in our mini show for this division. So what we've got is we've got our two class winners down here, and then we got our seconds back here. And I just thought, well, we got plenty of room, so let's just let all these kids show a little bit more and let them enjoy some time in this beautiful arena you guys got here. I think it gets pretty basic. I thought the second class, those two sure had some real quality, but I think the real, the higher quality, just the things I've been probably looking for all day, probably came out of that first class. We're going to keep those two together. Young lady, I really like that dark red heifer, red to the ground, good, well balanced, just really high quality female, and a heifer with some real shot of muscle and some real rib shape and some bone to follow her. We're going to use those two out of that class for your champion in reserve. Let's give these exhibitors all a really nice round of applause.
Single entry red heifer here, again, one that's very striking in terms of her presence and look. She's proportionally correct in terms of her body volume. I think she's more than ample in terms of her muscularity. I really like her when she gets out and goes. I think she's the most flexible one that we've had presented out here today. Very good in terms of her angles and just her overall balance. So congratulations, young lady. Give her a nice round of applause.
Well, congratulations back in the mini Hereford ring. Results of your junior heifer calf division. Your champion will go to Willow Fields with KLD Coco 356 LET. Reserve champion in that division is going to go to Jace Cunningham with JLC My Lady Clementine. At this time in ring 2, we're going to bring in class 7 here in your next division. These will be senior heifer calves. Back over in the Highland ring, results out of class 6, your senior heifer calf division. First place was exhibited by Hayden Thurman with TFF Hazel's Hershey. In the following division, we brought in our entry for Class 8. First place will go to back number 5736. That's CBS Reba 64436, exhibited by Taylor Miller. At this time in ring 1, we're going to bring in your cow-calf division. This will be Class 12. Single entry in this class.
You don't see this too often, but we got a 3-in-1 package out here, and if you just analyze the cow for what she is, I think in terms of her structural design, the way that she's built, she is really good in those areas. Again, she is so agile out here when we ask her to move, and yet one still very square in terms of her muscle shape, obviously doing a tremendous job not raising one but two calves. So again, congratulations to those exhibitors. Give them a nice round of applause.
Well, congratulations in your cow-calf division. Your champion will go to Hayden Thurman with Hazel of Hager Hollow. We're now going to bring in all those division champions, and our judge, Mr. Ryan Rash, will select his grand and reserve grand champion in your junior show.
Well, only 4 out here in the Junior Heifer Show, but again, they've worked extremely hard. They've done a good job, got here to OKC, presented their cattle well. Please give them a nice round of applause for their efforts. And they're good ones out here. There's lots of differences within the 4. The heifer that won Class 1, if we leave her stopped or in the park position, one that really is one that gets in the thick of this because, again, in terms of her presence and her balance and her show ring look, those things are quite good. And then she's one of the ones that is very massive in terms of her muscle and her body makeup. Again, when we put her in motion, I just want to see her more comfortable off either end of her skeleton, make her go a little freer. The heifer that wins Class 2 is the status one. She's square, she's tremendously heavy muscled, really a big backed female that's round in terms of her rib. She's one that gets more up in terms of her spine, wants to get underneath herself too much in terms of how she utilizes her rear leg, but still one that has some pieces that you really have to admire. The red heifer is the one that's just the most my type and kind, probably. Good looking, there's enough to her in terms of muscle and mass, and then she's one of the 2 that is very good at the ground. In terms of her running gear, she can get out and move quite well. So again, in terms of my type and kind, I think that's one that I really gravitate to. Then we've got the pair with the 2 calves at the back. Heifer, or cow, excuse me, is one that is so good moving, so flexible, so comfortable, and yet got lots of power. Doing a good job raising both of those calves. She's not quite as attractive in terms of her look, her presence through the front 1/3 of her body, but still one that's doing a great job. So give them a nice round of applause. Young lady with the red one's the champion. Congratulations to you. Pair will be reserved. Congratulations to them.
And congratulations in our Junior Highland show here at the Cattlemen's Congress. Your champion will go to Taylor Miller with CBS Reba 644-36. And congratulations, your reserve grand champion, going to the cow-calf pair exhibited by Hayden Thurman with Hazel of Haggard Hollow. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. At this time, we'll get started with your open Highland show. We'll be looking for Class 3 late junior heifer calves.
probably as many young and less experienced showmen as we've had out here in many of these classes, but I think they're all really battling out and really doing a nice job. Some of them got a little help, but I think they're really, really giving a great effort. Let's just start by giving them all a really good round of applause. A nice group of kids. Folks, I think as we've walked through the show here today, I think we've got one that really comes to the top with just some sheer quality, as easy as anything we've done about all day. I think one, and we haven't talked a lot about condition, maybe more of as an ID than anything else, but I just think this one's condition just comes to you perfect. She still has a nice amount of rib and muscle to her and all those things, but I just think the condition she comes is just so fresh and true. She's not hiding anything, but I think where she just really class away is the way she gets out and goes. I mean, just sheer perfection when we set her in motion, level down her hip, really strides out nice. Young man's obviously a little novice, but doing a great job and got a really good teacher here as well. And I think the heifer that probably has a little more muscle and maybe even a little more length of body is the young man in the plaid here. I told him I liked that vest, and I'd mean it. I think that heifer has sure got some quality about her. One with some real muscle down her top and through her hip. Where she separates to me from the one that we go ahead and win with is when we set him in motion. She just doesn't want to get out and go, particularly when she sets down on that pasture and she wants a little more up, but I think a female that sure has some quality and probably has a little advantage in terms of muscle, another real high quality one as well. A young lady's heifer coming in next. She's doing an awesome job with it too. Probably another one of them real massive ones. Just a real cow type, real easy fleshing kind that's going to make a really great cow for this young lady for a number of years. I guess when we analyze her from a show ring balance and eye appeal, she just doesn't have quite the look of probably the two we aligned above her. Another one kind of like that in terms of one that just doesn't have quite that presence about her head and neck and probably doesn't have quite the rib shape of the two we aligned above her, but another real complete kind of a female that really square and flat about that shoulder. Young man's doing a really good job. I thought he was going to get a little nervous out here at first. He kind of settled all in and gave us a good job, giving a good stick job out here. Nice dark red heifer with some real power. And I told that young man, I've been walking around the fairgrounds quite a bit the last 2 days. That's the best shirt I've seen, and I really appreciate the way this young man gets this calf shown. Thank you.
The black heifer's back out here to start the open show, and again, just like we said previously, when she's standing there, so much to admire about her in terms of her poise and her muscularity. Change her just a little bit in terms of the way that she goes, but he's doing a good job. She was trying to be a handful, and he got her stuck really well there at the end. Give him a nice round of applause.
Well, congratulations in our Open Highland show. First place will go to back number 2562. That's FSH Hermione 66148, exhibited by Easton Bowes. Back in the mini Hereford ring, results of Class 7 here in your senior heifer calf division. First place will go to Copeland Bufford with Ella Maple Syrup 2014. Second place and congratulations goes to Red Barn Herefords with RBH Maggie. Third place exhibited by Iva Jean. Fourth place will go to Taylor Mini Herefords. Fifth place is Zane Skinner, and sixth place go to Dawson Masters. Now in ring 2, we're going to bring in Class 8 here in your miniature Hereford show.
Got a pair out here that are really polar opposite in terms of their type and kind. I'm going to leave them as they came in. Silver heifer of the gentleman's up front will be the class winner. For me, that's the heifer that's more correct in terms of her structural integrity. She is way more flexible and correct in terms of how she's designed out of her spine, and yet she's one that's good in terms of her body depth, the big bone female, that she's attractive enough in terms of her look, and there's enough power in her. We could maybe stouten her up some in terms of her pin width, make her just a little more muscular, and that's the advantage Hereford 2 has. She is really, really stout and very, very muscular and wide and burly in terms of her build. She's actually the one of the pair that's neater in terms of her head, neck, and shoulder. The problem for this female is she's just too uncoordinated in terms of how she gets out and goes off either end, gets too tight and tense on the top side of her spine. But a good pair, just lots of differences in them. Give them a nice round of applause.
Well, congratulations over in the open Highland ring. First place in Class 6 Fall Heifer Calves. We'll go to back number 3308. This is J. Bartiz Genesee, exhibited by Tina and John Keep. Second place in that class, and congratulations went to Hayden Thurman. We'll now look to see Division 4. This is Class 8 early summer yearling heifers.
Red heifer we've already seen, and again, I like this one pretty well. I like her presence. I think she's got a lot of show ring orientation. She's proportionally correct in terms of her body, her rib, and there's more than enough muscle and dimension to her. She's good on her feet and legs. So again, young lady, congratulations.
A real nice pair of heifers here on the mini side. I think the young man got a heifer that just goes ahead and does what we've been trying to do all day in terms of that real show ring look and balance. Probably just a little more attractive about her head and neck, and just stands down a little square from hock to ground. I don't think you can overdo that loin in her on that one, young man. I think that one's just a tick high in her tail head, but a female would just love her balance from the profile. As the young man's heifer coming in next, probably has just a shot more muscle. A female that we sure like from a length standpoint as well, but a female that just doesn't have quite the look of our class winner out here today. Thank you.
Well, congratulations in a miniature Hereford ring. Results of Class 8. First place will go to McKenna Camp with KLD Kit's Dream Girl 477 KET. In second place, and congratulations will go to Jack Gross with SS Melia. We'll now look to see Class 9. This will be your final class here in your senior heifer calf division.
The gentleman's pair with two coupons alongside that we saw just a few minutes ago. Again, for what she is, very, very impressive because she's well built, she's so sound and functional, and yet one that's got a lot of width and dimension, doing a great job raising two calves. So again, congratulations, young man. Give those exhibitors a nice round of applause.
Well, congratulations back over here in the Highland ring. Your champion cow calf will go to Hazel of Hager Hollow with Hayden Thurman. At this time, we're going to bring in those division champion reserves, and our judge, Mr. Ryan Rash, will be selecting his grand and reserve grand champion, Highland female.
Well, once again, let's give these open exhibitors in the Highland Show a big round of applause. This is a lot of work to get them out here and get them presented this well. They've done a good job. We've talked about them all, some of them a couple of times already now. And so, again, they're all very good. There are just a lot of differences. It's going to be a repeat of the junior show, though. The young lady with the red one, that's my type and kind. She needs to win. The pair will end up being reserve again. Give them a nice round of applause.
Well, congratulations in your Open Highland show. Your champion will go to back tag 57. Congratulations goes to Taylor Miller. Reserve champion will go to back number 58. Congratulations to Hayden Thurman.
Another really good class, and I think we got some really good kid-calf combinations out here, and I can sure appreciate that both as a parent and as somebody that tries to sell a few of these things throughout the year. I think we got one that just go ahead and overpowers things out here today. I think that's a female that really has to go towards the top when you watch her on the standstill, just with that shape and muscle and the rib shape she's got. She's good enough about that head and neck, but she just goes ahead and excels the class. We set her in motion. She takes as long a step as anything and sure handles her loin better than the one we got in second. Because this young man's heifer we got in second, I sure like the way she gets out and goes. I really like that reach and step she's got. But a female, she gets just a little soft in that loin when we do ask her to walk like that. And a female that probably doesn't have quite the power or the extension about her head and neck is that one that really goes ahead and overpowers things here today. The heifer coming in next, probably when you get right behind her, probably powers up as nicely as anything out here. Just a real big top, big hipped one. But one when we set in motion, she wants to go a little funny off that front end and gets a little straight off that pastern. But a female that I think when we can correct her from a mating standpoint on those things, I think she's sure got some things to offer. Young lady coming in next, she says she's 4 years old. I thought she was 7 at a minimum. A female that we sure like her length of body and mass, but if one that doesn't have quite the look and balance of some of the ones we aligned above her. Another little 3-year-old that's doing a really good job out here. Actually, a female that sits down with some real substance of bone and can kind of have some range of motion, just not quite the look about her tail head and that front end of some of the ones we aligned above her. Thank you.
Single entry to start off the bull show over here on the Highland Ring, and again, one that could definitely stand a lot of competition because this one is actually very good. Young and green, but still one that's got a bright future because he's so correct in terms of his skeletal design. He is way good looking as you study him up front, and yet then there's still one there that's got some natural width and true dimension to that individual. So young lady, I think that one has a bright future ahead. Congratulations to you. Give her a nice round of applause. Pewter colored bull, that another single entry here, very, very long in terms of his silhouette, strong in terms of his top line, a heavy muscled individual that is stout featured in terms of his bone and foot size, all of those things you appreciate and admire about him quite well. Get him in motion. I need to see him more coordinated in terms of how he handles his rear hock, but a very good one nonetheless. Give the gentleman a nice round of applause, please. Well, the two bulls that we have to select Grand and Reserve from, again, they are very good in their own right. They're just really different in how they're built and assembled. One of them, the one up front, is better looking, sounder structured, and yet I think got an ample amount of width and dimension. The silver-colored bull at the back is obviously the stouter option of the duo. Really powerful, long-sided one that's really rugged in terms of his feature. Want to see him better moving. So the one I prefer is the black one, young lady. You have the champion. Congratulations to you. Gentleman right here will be reserved. Congratulations to you, sir. Gentleman's got only one entry out here in the Progressive Dam, but again, both of them are highly competitive, and this is a deserving honor to them. So please give this exhibitor a round of applause. Congratulations to you.
Well, congratulations over here in the Highland ring. Results of your bull show, your grand champion, exhibited by Rockin' K Highlands. Reserve champion went to J Bar T Highland Cattle Company. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors in your Pro Sedan class. First place exhibited by Hayden Thurman. We're now going to bring in your final class of Highlands. These will be Highland market animals.
Nobody else likes me at OKC. She's going to like me. She's won everything that she's been in. But again, this one here is really cool fronted, one that's very square in terms of build, and he's really agile at the ground. So I think that you're going to have a good time with that one too as well, young lady. Congratulations to you.
And congratulations in your final class here in our Highland show. First place went to Taylor Miller with her feeder steer, born June of the previous year. Again, congratulations to all of our Highland exhibitors. Special thank you to Judge, Mr. Ryan Rash.
With all due respect to our really nice second place heifers out here, and particularly this young man in the plaid, I think that's a very high quality heifer, and I think definitely deserve to be called out, so to speak, a little bit. And even this young man in the middle, I really like the way that one that gives you a look from the side. I just think we got two real high quality ones on each end of you out here. We're going to talk about a little bit, and so I just wanted to tell you, I really thought your heifer was high quality. I think this young lady's heifer here really does a lot. I think she's got a lot of muscle. I think she's got a lot of